Hello there guys, Billybo10K here, bringing you another Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Billy Bay Twitter theory video, and today we are going to be taking a look at another Twitter theory, potentially regarding the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC Fighter Pack. Now that we only have 2 spots left in this pack, it is getting down to the wire, and no one is sure about who is potentially going to be our next character, but of course, people are creating their own theories for why they feel their favorite characters may have a shot, and this is my job to showcase to you guys all of these different characters, because even if they don't get in this fighter pass, by bringing attention to these characters, I help their popularity, and thus I'm hopefully helping them out if a future fighter pass happens down the line. And today's Twitter theory is very special because this Twitter theory is actually about the character Elma from Xenoblade Chronicles X. Now, if you guys remember, we did an Elma video a while back where we covered a Twitter theory very in-depth from a Smashboards user, and this theory that we're tackling today is building upon that video. So as such, I'm actually going to link you guys to that original video, and I recommend that you go and watch that first, as this Twitter thread implies and assumes that you have actually seen the original thread, and thus, if you watch that video, you should catch yourself up. For those of you that don't know, Elma is a character from Xenoblade Chronicles X. She isn't the main protagonist, but she basically is. She's just not she's not the playable character. That being said, she got a lot of support back in the Smash Ultimate pre-release speculation era as one of the potential new Xenoblade reps. As we found out, though, on November 1st, Sakurai was more inclined for a Rex and Pyra rather than an Elma, and they sadly didn't make it in, but it was heavily implied that had they not missed the cutoff point, they probably would have been the new rep, so that probably doesn't help Elma in the slightest. Now, we do know that Elma is a spirit in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at the moment, but that doesn't mean it's the end of her career as a potential DLC fighter. So let's take a look at @10-2nox Twitter theory and see what he says. So I've decided to make a thread about how Elma from Xenoblade Chronicles X still has a shot of making it in as DLC for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and provide a bit more evidence toward that. I will also be debunking some arguments against her. Before I go any further, please know that this thread will be a follow-up to a thread by @Calamitous4, and therefore will not be repeating anything that they said. Please read their thread before mine, here's the link, or you can check my video in the top right corner. First of all, let's debunk the argument saying that all of the DLC characters will be from third parties. The first of these arguments is that because each DLC character is getting a spirit board, they must be third-party characters so that spirits come on new. This argument falls flat though when you realize there are plenty of Nintendo-owned characters that have not been represented by spirits yet. I understand that people might not want more spirits for a franchise that already has a lot of representation, but for a franchise like Xenoblade, which doesn't have many spirits, adding more wouldn't be that bad. This is especially true when you consider that Xenoblade X has 15 other party members besides the ones currently represented by spirits in Ultimate, among other characters with spirit potential. There's also Mii costume theory, which says that cut costumes from Smash 4, representing Bandai Namco and Capcom franchises, will come back as DLC, making people think that the final 2 characters will be from those 2 companies. There is a problem with this theory though. There are Smash 4 Mii Fighter costumes that were cut from Ultimate that do not represent franchises from either of these companies. Specifically, I'm referring to the hoodie, neon suit, plate armor, fancy suit, mage robe, beehive wig, frog hat, lion hat, red ribbon, straw hat, and the samurai outfit. Even if the Mii costume theory is true, there is still a chance under the logic presented that a Nintendo character could make it in and come with these costumes. So before we continue, I actually want to talk about this, specifically the Mii costume theory. I feel like your argument is very weak here because none of those costumes are related to a Nintendo franchise. They are literally like default costume pieces. I do wonder why they're not in Ultimate, given they are completely generic, but at the same time we have a whole bunch of costumes that basically replace those in Ultimate, and I don't think that that is a good way of assuming, oh, a Nintendo character is probably coming because they'll bring those costumes with them. That being said, I don't agree with Mii costume theory to begin with. I personally don't think Bandai Namco is going to get a representative. I don't think it's going to happen. We've known that Sakurai hasn't been a big fan of the Bandai Namco characters in terms of bringing them to Smash because they were hard to work with. Specifically, we know about Heihachi, but there are others as well. I do think Capcom will be getting another representative. That's an entirely different discussion. But the other thing is, you're trying to dissuade why third-party characters are the only ones that we think are coming to the Fighter Pass, and why you think that's not the case. The problem is, at the same time, we now have 3 DLC characters from this Fighter Pass, and all 3 of them are third parties. That means 60% of this Fighter Pass is third parties at the moment, and if we assume that Capcom is probably going to get another rep, that's 80%, and by that, the assumption is very fair that you can make the assumption that all of the characters are going to be third party. I personally am on board with the it's going to be third parties only train, simply because I feel like this DLC is a brilliant way of reaching out to other companies. That being said, obviously, if you want to hold out hope for your first party characters, that is completely fine, that is completely fair, but you need to have a real convincing argument, and this one just doesn't really do it for me right now. Moving on, I should also address the belief that spirits deconfirm characters. Sakurai blatantly said that spirits are Ultimate's equivalent of trophies. Trophies were not deconfirmations during Smash 4's DLC, so spirits shouldn't be considered like that for Ultimate. That being said, so far, 3 characters are added, none of them were spirits prior. And also, this is an important thing. From what I recall, I don't know if there's a source for this, but I feel like I heard this somewhere, that spirit battles were basically quote-unquote impossible battles created using the spirit mechanic. The fact that I remember the terminology impossible battle seems to imply that if a character is a spirit, that is because they simply weren't able to be created into a fighter, and thus it doesn't look good for spirits. They do hold the same argument as trophies. They are trophies for this game, but at the same time, I feel like they're more in-depth, and I feel like this time, I think spirits do disconfirm. But, you know, fair dues. If you want to argue against that, fair dues. I'm not going to complain. I'd like to discuss some recent theories that have sprung up. They may not pan out into anything, but I'd still like to address them. First up, color theory! While the design of Elma's original outfit might have a distinct red color, the UI of Xenoblade X is primarily blue. This fits in with color theory, as one of the 2 colors of the rainbow that remains to be shown up on the website is blue. However, I disagree with this because, as we've seen from color theory, aside from Banjo and Kazooie, which are represented by a gold Jiggy, Joker, even Piranha Plant, and the hero from Dragon Quest are all represented by the primary color on their model, and I feel like for a humanoid character, it would be the same. I don't think you can, I feel like that is a big stretch to make color theory work. Next, let's talk about season theory. This is new. Many people have speculated the 4th DLC character to be released in December, and what is the first line of Xenoblade X's popular song Uncontrollable that any fan of the game will recognize? The wind blows hard in December. I get that it's a small association, but I can't think of many game characters that would be associated with December specifically. Okay, that's like Elastigirl stretching. Like, that is Mrs. Incredible. Like, I am stretching across the universe stretching. I feel like that is the most stretchiest of stretch that I have ever seen. I am so sorry, but that just, whew, that's beautiful. Anyways, that's it for this thread. Oh, I thought there would be more. Make sure you read the original thread by Calamitous4. Also, I have to give credit to the Smashboards thread where I got the information on the Mii costumes from. And obviously, they actually tagged me as well. So, as you guys got from me analyzing this as we went, I feel like a lot of these arguments were not disproven by this person's arguments against each of these like popular theories like Mii costume theory and color theory and all of that and the spirits. I feel like at this point, we need real concrete arguments to be able to disprove some of these theories. And quite simply, I feel like that third-party thing, with all 5 characters being third-party, I feel like that is the one that's going to be hardest to dissuade. And it's why I personally have not been looking to Nintendo, simply because I just don't see Nintendo putting any more of their characters in this DLC. Maybe there'll be a DLC Fighter Pack 2 where all the Nintendo characters come in, but I feel like the arguments in this thread simply weren't enough to debunk my thoughts on this DLC myself. That being said, once again, if there is anyone out there who really wants to see Elma, and if this thread really helps you kind of motivate yourself to continue repping and supporting this character, that is good. You need to keep supporting your character. Banjo-Kazooie, Ridley, King K. Rool, they were supported for almost 2 decades before they got into this game. The fan support for them was immense. You can't expect to support a character for 1 year, and then suddenly that character's gonna be in Smash. I feel like the characters that have been supported for the longest time, and the characters whose fan base really come out to rep these characters and share these people around, they're the ones that will ultimately get in when Smash comes around again. And that is why I feel Elma at the moment, she's great. I feel like her fan base needs to step up a little bit more because she kind of went invisible once Ultimate released. And if y'all can do that, y'all can get her into Smash. But thank you everyone for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to leave any more BBTT Twitter theories, we are changing the hashtag slightly. Now the hashtag is #SmashBBTT. The reason for this is that the hashtag BBTT hashtag is being used for other things. I wasn't aware, and obviously I want to make sure that I'm not getting in the way of those people. So #SmashBBTT is the new hashtag. Thank you for watching, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. I want to give a shout out before we go though to Sodden Grider, one of my patrons who upgraded from a $1 patron tier to a $10 patron tier. You're awesome, my friend. Thank you for watching everyone, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.